Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a White Castle fast food restaurant. This is the amount of space required to make White Castle. And here are all of the materials that we will need to build it. Begin by placing 6 light grey terracotta in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then place a smooth quartz block on the end and extend it forwards by 2. 1, 2. Then place a black stained glass pane to the right, and then a polished black stone wall. Leave a gap, place another wall, then a pane, and then smooth quartz block. Extend the smooth quartz block backwards by 2, 1, 2. Then extend to the right by 6 using light grey terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend backwards by 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then extend all the way across the back of the build and join to the front of the build. I'd extend some of the back over and then just extend from the front and join it all together. And now that we've done this, we are going to come back to the front left-hand corner of the build. And by the way, this is kind of what we have so far. You can see it's nice and symmetrical as of yet. Well, from the front left-hand corner of the build, we want to place another light grey terracotta. And then next to it, a smooth quartz, 2 black glass pane, smooth quartz, terracotta. And then we want to take these 2 areas of smooth quartz that we have and raise them up by 9 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we can actually extend across the top and connect both sides together as well. So I'm jumping the gun a little bit on that, but we would inevitably connect them together anyway. So we'll extend both sides up, and something that we can do also is we can extend the top of this backwards. So the width of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means the depth wants to be the same as well. So this is 1, 2, 3, we have to extend it backwards by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, extend across, and then join it together. And the cool thing about this, number 1, by the way, we're going to fill the top of this in using light grey terracotta, just for a little bit of contrast. Not that we'll ever really come up here, but we want to make the top of the castle wall, which I'm sure has a name, but I don't know it. And essentially what we do is we extend up every single other block, starting from the corner, using smooth quartz. So going all the way around, we get this cool like castle wall effect, as I call it, but I'm sure it does indeed actually have a proper name. And now that we've done this, I actually kind of want to make the shape of the entrance a little bit more. So we take each of the black stone wall and the glass, we raise them up by 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and we do the same thing with the glass as well. We place an end rod in front of the central black stone wall blocks like this, pointed downwards or upwards, it doesn't really matter. I like to see the little grey bit on top myself. We want to then place a horizontal row of smooth quartz stairs above this, and then extend it forwards by at least 1 row of smooth quartz slab, but I'd probably go 2, because why not? Live a little, I guess. And then we want to fill the upper part of this in using smooth quartz. But we also want to mark out this area as well. We'll come back to it, but we want to take the central block here in between the castle wall. We want to drop down 2 rows, 1, 2, place a white concrete, 1 below, and we will be placing the sign there later. But for now, we want to just jump onto the left side a little bit, because I realised we didn't really finish this window section. So basically, we want to place another layer of glass on top of the glass that we have, right? And then smooth quartz stairs on top of the glass as well. And then smooth quartz block on top of these stairs, like this. We then want to place light grey terracotta on top of this, and we can join it to the central point of the build. And whilst we are here, it would actually be helpful to place a layer of light grey terracotta that kind of orbits the lower part of the build, so literally just sits parallel on top of the previous level of the build. So if we take a look, it'll end up looking a little something like this, right? And that just looks really good. And on top of this, we'll actually stack a layer of smooth quartz block just going all the way around like so. It will take a little second to apply this. And then, leaving a gap of 1 from the center of the build, we leave a gap of 1, and then we want to place smooth quartz blocks, every other block literally kind of just going all the way around back on ourselves, giving us that castle wall effect, and it will all, assuming that we've done this correctly, fingers crossed, it will all work out rather nicely in the end. And what we then want to do, now that we have done this, is we want to mark out the other windows as well. So we've done this on one side, which means we can do this on the opposite side also. So if we just place a light grey terracotta on the ends of each of this row here, place a smooth quartz coming inwards with glass in between, raise up the glass, place stairs on top, and then smooth quartz block on top of that. We now want to come to the right side of the build. We will apply the same to the left also, and we want to place 2 light grey terracotta extending backwards from this one here. We then want to place 2 glass pane, raise them up, then stairs on top, smooth quartz on top of that, leave a gap of 3 between the window, 1, 2, 3, and then place 2 glass pane, row on top, quartz stairs on top, and then smooth quartz block on top of that. And we want to come over to the opposite side of the build, and we want to do a very, very, very similar thing. So we want to start from the front here. We'll place 2 terracotta, 2 glass, raise them up, stairs on top, smooth quartz on top of that, row of 3 terracotta, 1, 2, 3. Now, however, we want to pick one of these terracottas and place 2 glass on top. Then we want to place a stair on top, extend to the left, and then smooth quartz block on top. So this is actually a drive-through window. So if you can imagine, this point right here is like where the window will be. We'll probably place a carpet on there, so we don't want to occupy this space. Now, coming to the back of the build, this one is an ever so slightly personal choice. On the back of the build, on the corner block here, we want to place a row of 9 terracotta extending right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then a row of 2 glass, row on top. There we go. So this is a little window that exists on the back of the build. And you may or may not want to have this when we reach this point later, but I figured that we'd just add it anyways. So we want to fill in the gaps of the sides of the build using light grey terracotta. So this is just directly on the next row. We've done most of it already, but just making sure that we leave this alone for the actual drive-through window. And then, how is best to start this? Probably this way. Okay, so what we're going to do, right, is we need to apply, and I would highly recommend moving the white concrete and the smooth quartz block together. We want to apply this checkered effect for the walls. So this basically sits in between this lower part and this upper part. We place white concrete on top of the quartz next to the white concrete, and we create a checkered pattern in between all of these walls here like this. And like, if you obviously you just alternate the blocks and it'll just end up looking really, really nice. So if you see a white concrete, place a quartz next to it. If you see a quartz, place a white concrete next to it. I'm sure that you guys get the idea and know what a checkered pattern is, so I'll probably stop talking about it right about now and just apply it myself to the entire build. It takes a little while. There we go, that is absolutely perfect. The next part of this is really simple. So first of all, we are going to place azalea plants left and right of the bottom of the front and right side windows of the build. We then want to place a layer of podzol in front of the azaleas on the front of the build, leading all the way to the right side of the boundary, but we actually want to sit inside of it. We don't want to dig it out. So we want to do this on both sides. However, on the left side of the build, we are stopping in the same place, but we don't have the same boundary as we do on the right. So now that we've marked this out, we want to add a couple of rows of smooth stone directly in front of the entrance, spanning the width of the podzol that we've just placed. We then want to extend the smooth stone all the way backwards on the right side, connecting to the path that we've made. So this just destroys the edge of the boundary like so. What we now want to do is extend the center of the actual entrance forwards as well. So we want to make a walkway. This is going to be 3 rows wide, leading all the way to the outer part of the grid, and we're just replacing this with smooth stone. Place podzol on the left and right sides of this path and occupy it using ferns. We then want to extend the end of the left side of the smooth stone path forwards to join to the end of the grid, and we're going to replace it. And now we can divide this area into car parking spaces. So this is really simple. Place 1, 2, 3 yellow carpets followed by a white concrete, and then 3 more yellow carpet here on this left side, and we'll see if we can get the right side to divide up in a similar way. So 1, 2, 3, destroy, white concrete, then 1, 2, 3, yellow carpet. And now this is ever so slightly different. So on this side, we can chop off these 2 rows, replace them using smooth stone like this. And then we want to extend the rows of white concrete that we placed all the way to the boundary, and then dig out the center of the car park spaces and replace that using cyan terracotta. Now, over on the left side of the build, we want to dig out the 3 rows to the left side of the car parking space, or rather next to the path that we created next to the car parking space. And this cyan, or these 3 rows of space that we are digging, that literally run from the front of the build to the back of the build, they want to be 3 rows wide, leaving a row on the left side of the grid alone, but they also want to connect to the drive-through window. And we're going to stick a white carpet on the drive-through window as well. So we'll place these rows like so. And this is how we get our food. So this is how the restaurant connects to a street. We drive all the way straight through, so it will have to connect to another street, or you can make a car park, or you can have it loop around the entire restaurant. We also have to make a barrier. So the barrier is going to sit on the left side of the build. It's going to be in line with the front of the building here, and we'll place 1, 2, 3, 4 white concrete, and then stick a smooth quartz slab, and then extend and connect to the building. We want to do the same thing on the back, 1, 2, 3, 4 white concrete, and then extend slabs across. And then we're going to place some light grey terracotta in between the rows of white concrete, just connecting front to back like this, and it will just end up looking really good. And once you've completed that, barring some of the white concrete that is still left in the actual on the outer boundaries of the build. Barring that, we've actually done a pretty good job, and we can even add some azaleas now to the side of the drive-through window, as I don't think that will get in the way, and that looks really, really good. That is almost the entire outside of the build complete. That's definitely the landscaping. Next, we are going to hang banners above each one of the windows. So we're going to hang blue and orange banners above the windows. We don't want to cover up any of the glass, so we place them attached to the smooth quartz. And this is how I'm going to place every single pairing. It just gives the build a nice bit of colour. And of course it is in line with the actual colours of White Castle, so it's a nice little bit of branding as well, in case a giant White Castle isn't obvious enough. Adding some colours to the build I think will definitely help further brand this a bit. And I'm just realising that we did forget a little detail above the drive-through window, so I've added these banners above the drive-through window. However, originally I actually placed some slabs, so it's up to you. You can leave it like this, or you can kind of like extend the top of the window forwards a little bit, and that can also be another way to differentiate it from the, you know, the rest of the build. But I'll kind of leave that up to you. So the next thing that I do want to do, however, is make the banners for White Castle. So we need to throw down a loom, open it up, and we need to start off with a blue banner. So in the blue banner, we're going to add white dye, and we want to start off with the white chevron pattern. Grab that, put that back in, place blue dye in there, and we are going to place the blue base indented pattern. Grab that, put that in, add white dye, and place white pale dexter, followed by white pale sinister. That's the first banner that we need. The next banner is going to be an orange banner, and we are simply going to place a white chief, white base, white pale dexter. Perfect, they're the banners. So to accompany these banners, we need blue and orange concrete. Left of these two sticky out white concretes here, we'll place orange. To the right, we'll place blue. And in the orange section, we'll place the W. And in the blue section, we'll place the C. So White Castle, there we go, nice and simple. This is actually meant to look like more of a shield. So if you do want to kind of like try and shape this a little bit, like, you can, but it kind of like, because we're using quartz to like shape it, it doesn't look quite right to me. So I figured that a little bit of white concrete, I mean, feel free to flare one down or up, you know, depending upon which you think looks better, but I think that that looks pretty good in terms of branding for White Castle. And in completing that, ladies and gentlemen, you've actually kind of done the entire outside of the build. However, this does leave the entire inside. So for the inside of the build, we are going to make the entire floor spruce planks. And once we have done that to the floor, we are going to make the ceiling. The ceiling is going to sit... Basically, we can have a really high ceiling, actually. So where we have the light grey terracotta, we are going to make that the roof line. And we want to fill it in with the exact same material, including the little area just inside of the castle tower. And then all we will have to do is just connect the actual tower downwards to the new roof, and I think that that'll all look really, really good. Perfect. With all of that complete, we can now head inside of White Castle and we can begin work in here. So the first thing that we're going to do is come to this back window. We only have one. We want to, right of the window, find the 1, 2, 3, third light grey terracotta block on the floor here, and we want to extend it outwards by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towards the front of the build. We then want to extend it to the right, leaving a gap of 2 from the wall here, then place an oak door, light grey terracotta on top, add another layer of light grey terracotta on top of the base, and then fill above this in using white concrete. And this is going to be the bathroom. every good fast food restaurant has a bathroom that you'd probably prefer not to use. So let's open this up, walk inside, and we can make the bathroom. So first of all, we're going to make a stall. So this is an upside down smooth quartz stairs, oak trapdoor on top. We want to add some spruce planks to the side of this, item frame, white banner, flip that down, and we have a toilet and toilet paper. Feel free, if you're feeling shy, feel free to shove a door in front of this as well. Then we want to, along this back wall here, we want to place a light grey terracotta cauldron, light grey terracotta cauldron, place smooth quartz stairs on the wall above the light grey terracottas, leaving a gap of 1. Then we are going to place a flower pot here in the corner for a bin and tripwire hooks above the cauldrons. And what you can then do from here is completely up to you. You can drop these you can add some sea lanterns to the ceiling if you do so choose. You should be able to add some perfectly in the center, and then you can actually drop the ceiling down by placing a layer of light grey terracotta. So you'll get some light, and it's kind of interesting, like as you move in here, it'll be like, oh, it's a completely different room. Like it feels different moving from one to the other. But regardless, that is the bathroom. So for the rest of the place, we first of all want to place some blue concrete just above and behind the entrance like this. It just looks kind of nice. We then want to make a couple of booths. So over here on the left side, we want to place 2 rows of 2 blue concrete just in the corner here, with smooth quartz stairs in front, end rods in front of that, white carpet on top of the end rods. Opposite it, we want to place smooth quartz stairs, build up some blue concrete behind these stairs like this, and then stick a lantern on the wall kind of like below, or rather parallel to where the actual table is, like this. And behind this seating arrangement, we want to place light grey glazed terracotta with a couple of rows of azalea leaves. And not only do we want this on the left side, we want this on the right, so that's a 2x2 square of blue concrete, smooth quartz stairs in front of the bottom, then we want to place end rods in front, white carpet on top, then smooth quartz stairs on the opposite side of this, 2x2 square of blue concrete behind these stairs, and then light grey glazed terracotta behind, a couple of rows of azalea leaves, and that looks fantastic. Now, not only do we want these 2 booths, but we are going to make a final one that sits rather snugly here next to the toilets and the window. What a wonderful, what a wonderful place. Oh, also we want a lantern here above this table. So 2x2 square of blue concrete, smooth quartz stairs in front, end rods in front of that, then white carpet on top of the table, smooth quartz stairs, 2x2 square of blue concrete. So with this booth in particular, we can actually have some nice hanging plants. I've rarely taken to this design in particular. So above where the actual seats are, we'll have chains hanging from the ceiling, pots below, ferns inside, and it just looks like 2 really nice hanging plant pots. And that is pretty much it for like all of the booths and the toilet area, so we just have to make the kitchen. So, in the back left-hand corner of the build, where we have the drive-through window, next to the window here, we want to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 light grey terracotta extending across. We then want to leave a gap of 1 and then place terracotta extending towards the back of the build. We then want to extend this terracotta upwards like this, and we want to extend this entire row of terracotta to the left by 2 entire rows, like so. We then want to place an entire layer of red concrete next to this, and then we want to extend the bottom and the top inwards using blue concrete like this, and we'll drop the blue concrete down at the top. Then we want to add another layer of 2 layers of light grey terracotta extending to this wall here like this, and then we're going to extend all of the terracotta forwards like so. Actually, we don't want to extend the entire thing, so we kind of want this drinks area kind of like set backwards. Actually, never mind. We won't extend it at all because it'll actually throw things off a little bit. I kind of wanted to make it a little bit more interesting with depth, but we don't really have the room, but that's okay. So, along the terracotta counter space that we have, we want to, in this corner here, place a blue carpet, next to it a smooth quartz stairs, then leave a gap of 2, blue carpet, smooth quartz stairs. In the ground in front of the counter space area, we want to have a layer of blue concrete like this, just built into the floor. And now we are going to add a couple of smokers here in the corner of the kitchen, and stone stairs above these, leaving a gap of 1. Then we want to add some grey concrete next to the drinks machine here, and we are going to place polished blackstone pressure plates on top of these. And then we are going to place a brewing stand on top of the drinks machine area with a lever on the right and a stone button. It doesn't really matter which is which. We are then going to place a couple of item frames above this, and we will place different bottles inside of the item frames. Then next to the lever area here, we are going to grab the item frames again and grab some foodstuffs. So this is completely up to you, but I'm going to place 3 item frames: chicken, steak, bread. There we go. That's absolutely perfect. And then on this these 2 blocks here where we have the light grey terracotta, I'm just going to stack a mixture of orange candles and blue candles to look like drinks cups. Then we are going to use white concrete to build kind of like our own little, I don't know how to describe this really, but like we want to have a row of white concrete that's parallel to the kind of like counter space area like this. And we are also going to have a couple of black concretes over here underneath it on the left side. We'll then leave a gap of 1 and have a couple more black concretes like this. And we want to stick paintings inside of the black concretes, or in front of the black concrete area, I should say, and they can be 1x2s, 2x1s. We can stack them diagonally above as well. It kind of just looks interesting. It's just kind of like visually appealing is the main deal with this. And we're also going to stick some sea lanterns like this just underneath the entire, like, I guess you might call it like a canopy or something, but I'm thinking that this back row could probably be made out of white concrete and it would look a little bit better. I'm also considering that a tripwire hook inside of the drinks machine above that brewing stand would look good as well. And in completing that, I think that we've kind of made the whole place, guys. That's it. We've made White Castle. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Please do remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.